U.S. Senate members are now banned from betting on prediction markets after a unanimous internal rule change. The rule targets conflicts of interest before public officials can profit from political, military, or economic information they may see first. The confirmed event is that the U.S. Senate adopted Senate Resolution 708, banning senators, staff, and chamber officials from betting on Kalshi, Polymarket, and similar markets. The reason this belongs in a crypto news read is that prediction markets turn information into tradable outcomes, making privileged access a direct governance and market integrity risk. The opening pressure point is the Senate bans its own prediction bets against public office versus market access. The first confirmed detail is the ban applies to senators and staff, and the immediate reason to care is that it includes Kalshi and Polymarket. That means the viewer should track follow-on rules and CFTC moves, instead of treating the first reaction as the whole story. The verified frame is narrow and useful. The confirmed baseline is an internal Senate rule that took effect immediately. The measure followed a case involving a U.S. soldier accused of using classified information to profit on Polymarket. This gives the viewer the factual floor before any larger conclusion is drawn. The two facts that set the baseline are clear. Resolution 708 took effect immediately, and the rule changes Senate internal conduct. That frame keeps Rule 708 takes effect immediately connected to the actual consequence, rather than floating as an isolated statistic. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. For U.S. Senate members, the mechanism is the part that decides whether the story has staying power. The mechanism is conflict prevention. Officials and staff are barred from markets where inside information could create unfair betting advantage. The rule does not create a new criminal law, but existing insider information laws can still apply. That is why the process behind the event matters as much as the event itself. In practice, conflict prevention drives the ban as the hinge between the confirmed event and the next market or user response. The mechanism split is simple. Privileged information creates unfair risk, while the measure aims to prevent conflicts. If that hinge fails, the strongest title-level claim loses force even if the story keeps attracting attention. The impact lands on a specific group rather than the whole market at once. Senators, Senate staff, Kalshi, Polymarket, prediction market users, regulators, and political bettors are affected. The practical consequence is more pressure on prediction markets to show controls against insider or privileged information abuse. The Senate rule may become a template for broader restrictions on public officials. The useful boundary is that platforms face integrity pressure, while broader regulation is not settled. The impact split is platforms face more integrity scrutiny and controls may become a policy focus. That keeps the impact focused on the people, markets, or systems actually named in the evidence. The unresolved part needs to stay visible. What remains unclear is whether Congress expands the restriction or regulators tighten rules for platforms themselves. That does not prove that all prediction market betting is now banned for the public. The cleaner confirmation would be broader legislation, CFTC actions, and platform compliance changes would clarify the next phase. This is the line between analysis and speculation. The unresolved split is the public is not covered by this rule and broader regulation remains open. The story can stay important while broader regulation is not settled remains unresolved, but the stronger claim needs visible proof. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. The next signal is not vague. Watch for follow-on rules covering other officials and CFTC action involving prediction market integrity. If new bills or enforcement actions extend the Senate rules logic, the story moves from internal rule toward broader oversight. For U.S. Senate members, that follow-through is the test. The trigger split is CFTC action is the next signal, and new bills could expand restrictions. If that trigger does not arrive, the story may stay in internal rule longer than early attention suggests. If it does arrive, broader oversight becomes easier to evaluate with facts instead of assumptions.